Wow. Okay. So we are back. Technical difficulties, and it says actual recording is higher, is in actually higher quality. It's uploading 50, 60%, 70 uploading, and I think we are going live
I'm
soon.
still loading. I think
Okay.
mine is still loading because my
80%,
computer stinks.
70% uploading, and
I think I'm on. I think
okay.
I'm
We'll
here.
give it a few minutes.
Yay. Okay, we're back. This is about business and getting messy and doing things imperfectly. Because you know what? If you at least do it, then you learn. And if you
And
don't,
we're here every week too, and we're trying to figure it out as we're going live to figure out what
mhm.
we're doing. So
Like I'll tell you, I learned how to rename myself before I logged in. I learned a new thing.
and
Yay.
we're going live. Which is cool.
Yeah,
Instead of a
we're live.
Zoom,
Mhm.
even though
We're
I'm
live.
thinking
Hi,
about
everybody out there in
Zoom.
the world. Hi, hi, hi.
So Tracy,
Okay.
what has been happening? So we've been let's talk about consistency, right? So we've been
Okay.
trying to do this consistently on a weekly basis.
Hmm.
I've learned a lot about you. You've learned a lot about me. We've learned lot about what we need to do to kind of keep going. So, from a small business standpoint, like earlier before we got disconnected, we talked about just the name and why we do it, and how
Hmm.
we see this life and business as just the process of the game that we got to go through in
Hmm.
life, right? So we talked a
Yep.
little bit about that, which is
Yep.
amazing.
Yep.
There's some things. So I was gonna say, like, how what has been happening with you, and how have you been? And
Hmm.
then I'll tell you
All right.
a little bit about me earlier, and
Okay.
we can talk about that. But yeah, so
Okay.
tell me about your week.
All right. So I think this is a really interesting topic as business owners. Okay. We're talking to business owners out there or want to be business owners. And business owners means you have staff, you don't have staff, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're in business, this is for you. Okay, so about a month or two ago, I had the opportunity to present on like a Shark Tank style thing, right? It wasn't really Shark Tank. That might have been terrifying because they would probably rip me to pieces. But I had this opportunity to pitch this big thing that I'm doing in Charlotte, which is I want to have 10 stores by the end of the year. I have two. I have a third already committed. I have some co-brands. So I have a really interesting model. And the whole reason I came to Charlotte was to be able to exit on purpose. So, like, I learned the hard way that if I didn't plan ahead, I didn't plan for exit, I wouldn't have something that was sellable. So, like, this is my do over moment in Charlotte. So,
And
anyway, I
Tracy,
got this
can I add
opportunity.
something quickly? Because
Yeah,
since
sure.
I've met you, I've never looked at a candy store in the way of oh, I think we lost you again. But I've never looked at a candy store. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you to come back on. But I've never looked at a candy store in the way that I do now. And what I mean by that is that now I see candy stores everywhere. So, I have a salon in Smyrna, Georgia here, and across the street where it used to be a cupcake shop, now it's a candy store. We're in Florida for spring break, and I see a candy store. And as I'm seeing this candy store, I'm like, okay, coming from the salon industry, and it's like you see. Tracy's calling me. Hey, Tracy.
Okay, I'm switching to my other computer. Give me 5 more minutes. Let's
Okay,
at least get 10 minutes of talking
I'm
on the
still.
computer.
We're
I'm
still
so
live.
I'm glad. I'm gonna log in then.
Okay,
Good.
Tracy, we're still live, and
Okay,
I
hi.
was just talking because I'm just gonna keep rolling, right? But I was just
Yeah, yeah,
talking.
keep on.
What I was trying to tell you is that I see since I've met you, I've seen candy stores everywhere, right? It's just like
Isn't that
okay,
crazy? Now it's in your like line of sight now,
yes. So
right?
I just told to the audience here. So in my salon that I have here in Georgia, there was a cupcake shop, and then they turned it into a candy store, right? So, and
Oh,
then we went to Florida, and then I saw like multiple candy stores. Like every corner that I now go to, I see candy stores. So I'm like, okay, is it a thing because I met you, or is it just that's just the way it is? Because I know being in the salon industry, there's a nail salon in every corner, right? You have a shop, there's always a restaurant at the corner, right? As the anchor. And then from there, there's a nail salon, there's a hair salon, there's a candy store, now that I see a
mhm,
cupcake shop. So it's always the same thing that the industry or the corner, marketplace has, and it's always similar.
mhm.
But I just thought it was crazy that now I see candy stores everywhere.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes, yes.
All right, it's not. It's asking me to request live call in. Yes.
Okay, let's do it. I'm right here.
Oh my goodness graciousness. Request. Yeah.
And this is why we do what we do, guys, because we need to figure
Yeah,
out.
we keep going, man.
Yes,
I know. I'm like a hot
it's not
mess.
about being perfect, guys. Please, this is not what it's
Oh my
about.
goodness. It's not for sure. I don't want to. I'm turning off start.
Okay,
I hit it. It
let's
says
see
request.
here.
Did you get a request from me?
No, I don't see it yet.
I don't know what the heck is going on with me today.
It's
Well, let's
uploading.
hope I get all this out of my system before tonight, where I ask for money from people.
It says Tracy. So I think everything is still live. Facebook, we're still live. Everything's still live.
Hmm. Well, I'm in your studio, but as a guest, I guess.
Okay, let's see here. Let me see if I can come back out here. Share, invite. Um, Tiki Eats, right? Here.
See, yeah. I mean, I'm already there. I'm in. I'm in your guest. I'm a guest.
Okay, so how do I log you in now?
I have no idea.
Okay, let me figure this out here
Let's
as
do it a little bit different.
okay, I have to leave if I don't. Okay.
No, don't leave. Don't leave. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm going to log in. I don't know why. I should be able to join you.
Share, invite. I'll send the invite again. Hold on.
Well, I'm logging in as you, so I should be able to access it automatically. So anyway, keep talking.
Okay.
We're live. Keep talking. And recording. Join.
I have it on
in.
here.
All right. I think I'm in. And so yeah. So
It says it's on here. Okay, I don't know why it's not working. Let me see.
connecting. Not using.
Copy, paste.
Join. It says I'm connected.
You're already invited. Okay. I think we are here. Anyways, guys, we're trying to set up. It's technical difficulties with her computer, but it's
we don't quit. That's what I'm saying.
but what we're setting up is we're on Riverside, and this is for the podcast. So we're setting it up where we're streaming on YouTube. Ah, there you go. I see it. We're streaming on YouTube.
Okay, good. All right. I'm in. Yes? You hear me?
Yes.
Woo! Okay. See, we persevere. Okay. So I'm sorry, everybody, but you know what? Success.
Is it a new computer?
Yeah, it's a different computer because twice it shut down on me. And this is the older computer, but you never know. Anyway, so you're seeing candy stores everywhere. You know why? It's like when you buy a Jeep and all of a sudden you see Jeeps. It's the same thing, right? It's the idea of that. And
I never thought about it. I never thought because before
the whole little world.
We went through we're talking about small business brick and mortar, right? We went through yogurt, right? We went through the yogurt craze. We went through the cupcake phrase.
Yep.
But candy shop has always been there because I remember, going to the small mountain town, going to the stuff that's always, and it's the one with all the buckets, and it's like my kids love going there. I never thought about it. Never thought about it.
I know. You sent me a picture of you and your kids at the big candy store in Florida. That's the thing. It's like it's part of all of our history. Like I think it's just a very American, but even when we went to Italy, there were candy stores there. Like it's just we have the sweet spot that we grew up going to or that we always find with the things we love. And so that's kind of the thing. So all right, I know we have to we've been messing around for 40 minutes. But anyway, okay. So what I'm doing, so I had the opportunity to pitch my expansion. And so, which was an amazing opportunity. And I pitched it to real fancy people who are worth $1 billion, and it was a great experience. And they were like, yes, 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 yes. Well, here's the thing about follow-up is that I followed up. I had 3 people from our community that are interested in investing. That's amazing. And I'm super happy about that. I found another one. And then 6 weeks have gone by and nothing has really happened. And so I met with the shark and he wanted me to do something else. So I did that. Then another few weeks have gone by and now he's kind of ghosted me, not responding. And I'm like, I need to move this forward because that's business, right? Like what we did today, it's persevering and getting it done so you can go to the next thing. I don't want to be still talking about this in August. So anyway, long story.
But I think what you are facing is what all of us face as small business.
Yes.
Right? Like it's like when we first started, we're like, okay, I can get started, which is great, which is fine, right? And I'm
Mhm.
there and I'm in the trenches. But then when you're there, you're like, okay, the place is running, it's able to pay the bills, it's making, a little money, but how do I grow? What is the
Right.
growth stage?
Right.
And I
Mhm.
think going back to what I wish I would have learned back then to where I learn now is that capital raising. How do we raise capital? Because capital is so important, right?
Yes. Well, and I bootstrapped everything. Most
Yes,
owners bootstrap, right? And I bootstrapped the last 18 years. I
yes,
bootstrapped all my restaurants.
yes.
I funded even my first four fix and flips. I funded those. Like I have been independent and it's kind of limited me. So that was the idea. Like, what if I could go faster?
Well, that's what we're talking about with the topic.
Mhm.
It's a game, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are we doing wrong that we are
Mhm.
playing wrong in this game? Like we
Mhm.
we're playing a game that we're playing as an individual, and we're playing in the game where we're playing small, right? So
Yes.
how? So what is the difference between us and the big corporations?
Mhm.
Well, we know that if I had a X amount of funding, that if I can last through the rough
Right.
seasons, that in the good seasons, that I can make all that back, right?
Yeah.
So I think that capital raising, if someone would have told me now, like, hey, when you get into it, what's important?
Yeah.
Capital raising, right? Raising
That's it.
capital, whether it's in real estate or small business. Because if you can get through the seasons, we know that everything's going to pay for itself. We
Right.
know that. We are
Right.
proven, you are proven. I mean, you've had multiple small business successful do
Mhm.
its season and then do the seasons where it's just challenging. We
Mhm.
can't get through it individually. We cannot because we don't have deep enough pockets.
I
We don't.
mean, we could, it's just gonna take way longer. And that was my pitch to them. It's like, I'm gonna do this with or without you guys. Like,
Yes.
that's the reality. And I
Yes.
know in a year, I'm gonna be cash flowing $1 million a year
Yes.
based on my model, based on my
Yes.
projections, based on what I know. Because
Yes.
here's the thing, what I bring to the table is 18 years of screw ups
Yes.
and lessons learned,
Yes.
right? And systems implemented and looking backwards and thinking that worked, that didn't work. And this is why we're doing this now because that did not work and it was messy and expensive and didn't make us the money we wanted.
Yes.
All of that, you can't, that's not something that you can just give somebody. That's learned.
Yes.
And that's an asset that we forget as owners that we have, right? We maybe feel like not as enough as other people,
Yes.
but the reality is that you bring your experiences with you. And
Yes.
so I was talking to someone last night I was on a mastermind call for 3 hours last night. And there was a lady who was an integrator. That's what she does. She's a COO. She comes in and she fixes businesses. And the reality is for most entrepreneurs, nobody wants her job. She's building a business doing that to
Yes.
save other people, right? She goes in and fixes and she's like, I love it. And we're like, yeah, okay, you can do it. Because most of us will pay her a lot of money to do it for
Yes.
us. But the reality is what she brings to the table, even when you hire fractional, they bring all their experience with them so they can identify things faster and more efficiently and for less money because they already
Yes.
know.
I had this idea, and I just want to say because this is what we're trying to build, guys. We're
Yeah.
trying to build a community of
Mhm.
entrepreneurs that's going to help
Yeah.
each other, right? That's going to
Yeah.
say, hey, this is the idea, because going back to what Tracy was saying, like the game that let's just say her and I both played, it's like if we would have just tweak it a little bit,
Mhm.
it would have made a big difference. It's like we're doing the same thing, and it's like that. You see that picture on social media, right? It's like the guy that's digging for gold and he's almost there and he's giving up. He's like he's
Yes.
almost there, but it's just a little tweak. It
That's
could
my biggest fear is that I
yes,
will give up
yes.
and I'll be
It's
that
a little tweak,
close.
but that's what we need
Mhm.
to be together. But okay, so going back to my
Well,
idea,
no, yeah, go
I
ahead.
saw this documentary. It's very, very. This is a great idea because I just want to. I don't think I told you, and I told another guy.
Okay.
It's like there's this concept of energy in Bangladesh, India, right? I saw a
Okay.
documentary. So the
Mhm.
concept is that it's a solar system in one house in one village, right?
Okay.
So it's one house gets a solar system, and he gets all these sun, all this spotlight. Like, let me see if my thing would work here, right? I'm gonna be dramatic here. So he gets
Okay.
this sunlight.
Okay.
he gets this. It's in his house. He's in his little hut, right?
Mhm.
And this is solar, it's sun, and he gets that energy and he's stored into his little battery pack in his house,
Mhm.
and then his neighbor has the same battery pack that's in his house, but he doesn't need all of it, so he doesn't use all of it. But then in this village, let's just say there's 10, just for the sake of it. So there's 10. So one guy doesn't use it because he lives by himself. Another guy has a whole family. So the guy that's getting all this energy and he doesn't need that much because his battery pack only holds so much. The guy that has a big family needs it. So he once he gets that energy, he can sell to this guy the energy that he
Mhm.
has. Right.
Yes.
And then you get that times 10 because every house has their own energy. So they have this source of energy. So that when the energy gets bigger, like for that 10 property, and whoever doesn't use it, they can sell to the next village over.
Mhm.
So now they have a bigger
Network.
a beehive, right? They have a bigger beehive.
Mhm.
And that's the way I see kind of
A
what
bigger
we
energy engine.
yes, but then they can from there from that village and that community can in return sell to a bigger city. So
Mhm.
it's individual. That's the way I see us as small business. We're individual
Mhm.
energy and beehive, and we need to
Yep.
work together
Yes.
so we
Well,
can
because
be
we
bigger.
multiply each other. That's
Exactly,
exactly what it is. If we
exactly. So we
multiply, I share something with you, and all of a sudden that impacts not only your businesses, but all the other people you come in touch with, and vice
exactly.
versa.
Exactly. Yes, as a community, because then we can work together and go up against the big corporations, right?
Yes.
Because
Yep.
that's what it is. Because it's like
Mhm.
we are in the reverse of the universe, and I don't know how that's going to change. That's what you and I are going to fight, and everybody else that's going to come along with
Sure.
us is going to fight that. We are going against big corporations that are just like the
Yeah.
small mops and pops, whatever it is that we're
Right.
doing. We need to
Mhm.
get together.
Yep.
We need to create that big, strong, you know, beehive where we can go against another beehive because
Well,
they
and
have
again,
pockets.
it's not, and it's nothing against big corporations per se, but when all the corporations own everything and we become a land of serfs and slaves and employees versus owners, it's removed us from the process. Like our country,
Yeah.
I think what made our country amazing, again, not that we were perfect, we're not, but that we were the land of opportunity because people could come here with nothing and build their own businesses
Yes.
and try on their own efforts to learn and connect, and some people would bring over their families and then they would build family
Yes.
systems, and that's what you're talking about. It's like this multiplying effect,
Yes.
and this is what often happens, and this is kind of what we're talking about in this podcast, is that people are so isolated and trying to survive on their own steam,
Yes.
whether, and what they need are employees, they need mentors, they
Yes.
need friends, they need business besties that are going to help them in their hard times, that's going to shortcut things for them, but they
Exactly.
need that ecosystem. Otherwise they'll probably be okay,
Yes.
but they're just going to go at a snail's pace instead
But
of
there's gonna be more
like
power, right? There's gonna be
there's
more
more
power.
power
Yeah.
collectively,
That's
correct.
why I had that analogy with the whole concept of
Yeah.
individual power in Bangladesh, because then you become a beehive. Like that
Mm.
within itself, I was like, okay, when I saw that, I was like, it opened up
Mhm.
my eyes to even my vision, right? To what we want to push, what we want
Mhm.
to do here is to
Yeah.
have that because we can work together because we are going against not against like I said, I'm not against big corporations, but we're going against that's where the universe is going to go, right? With big AI, like we are fighting for small town USA, right? We're
We
fighting
are,
for small
for sure.
business. But
Mhm.
if we get together, our energy is going to be so much
Right.
bigger and stronger. And those are the stuff like it's what we do is never going to go away. You know,
Yeah.
that's why we have that what we call the village mentality because
Yeah.
even though you have your big Amazons and you have your big corporations,
Mhm. Mhm.
w- people are still going to need the individual,
Right.
small town, small village, because that's
They're
what's going
still gonna have things, people will always wanna go into a store and look at things.
exactly,
They're
exactly.
not gonna always wanna order online, right?
Yes,
Now, so
yes,
they'll order a lot online, and but,
yes,
it's funny, we feel like it's so big, Amazon and stuff, but it's so small in comparison to the worldwide market. It's
yes,
so small. Even
yes,
in America, it's so small
yes,
compared to what Walmart, right?
exactly,
In-person purchasing
exactly.
compared to Amazon. It's so small. Um, and again, it's not bad or good. It's just is. And so the same for owners, I'll tell you a little story like quick about candy stores is like, so what happens with candy is that people, they outsourced a lot to China, all these little individual candy stores all across America, they kind of, if they haven't built a legacy brand, they can come and go. And
Yes.
so, like, for example, ribbon candy, which is like the candy, it's handmade. For years and years and years, you could only get it from one company in America, and you could get it, and only candy stores could get it. But then all of a sudden, they got a deal with Walmart. So one year, Walmart had it everywhere. And then other stores also had it, because what happened, that business decided to grow and they
Yes.
wanted to do more production. They made less, but they made more, yada, yada. Okay. So then, but that happened for a year. The next year, I didn't order any ribbon candy. You know why?
Yes.
Because Walmart had it last year and I can't compete with Walmart's prices. So,
Oh,
right.
wow.
So I did that. Well, guess what? Walmart didn't order it again. So now, because I ordered it, Walmart ordered it, now we have a glut in the market. So the next year, Walmart doesn't
Yes.
order it, and I don't order it. Guess what? The company goes out of business
Exactly. You so right.
because like they tried to grow, but then it shut down all the individual private ones,
Yes.
and then all so it's just it happens a lot, and that happened in the candy store over and over and over. Like Haribo now does the individual bags, the little quarter-pound bags in the dollar store,
Yes.
so they're selling it for less. We can't get it for bulk anymore, but their names on it. So there was a strategy for them to get
Yes.
their name out there, right? But again, it's change it the things we do impact industries.
Yes.
They impact us and we impact them,
Yes.
right? And when
And
we start to go to Walmart and buy the stuff instead of the distributor, guess what? The distributor stops buying it. Like
did you
it's
see,
this
did you
whole
did,
seesaw.
did you see this thing on social media lately? And I know everybody sees it. It's like how they said that on TikTok that China was giving the secrets of Louis Vuitton bags and those things. Did you see that?
Yes. Yes. I mean, that's what they've been doing.
But no, but it's funny because they're like, oh yeah, we open up visas, right? And for me, as someone who used to do manufacturing
Mhm.
from China, and I order directly from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
But you got to understand, like guys, when they were talking about this, is bulk orders, right? Like, oh, I can buy something for $1. Yeah, but you got to buy a million of them for $1. So you got to
Right.
buy like a
Yeah.
$1 million worth of
Yeah.
inventory that you're gonna have to ship to America, and then you have to put it through,
This is the
you know,
whole thing.
through through
Tariffs
through
and
through
all that.
tariffs. Yep, you gotta put it
Mhm.
through shipping, you gotta put it through, whatever you wanna call it. You spray
Mhm.
it down to clean it up. You gotta order
Mhm.
pallets, then you gotta order, the port, then you gotta order a truck to get it to
Mhm.
your warehouse, and you gotta do all of that.
Mhm.
So and I was there, like, I ordered that stuff, and I don't know much about tariff, but I had to pay for it. I used to pay $5,000 per shipping at the Savannah port,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then one year, it went from 5,000 to 15,000
Right.
just to get my stuff outside of
Mhm.
the port in Savannah.
Right.
So I don't know much about it. I'm not going to pretend that I do, but I
Right.
know that I had to pay for it. So me
Right.
as the
The
buyer,
business owners pay for it,
yeah, the business
'cause
owners pay
and
for it.
eventually the consumers pay for it because you have to cover those
Exactly,
costs.
exactly,
So it's
exactly.
the whole thing. I do think it should be equitable. Like if we're going to ship out, like if I sell to you and you sell to me, it should be equitable. Like you
Yes,
shouldn't have the ability to charge me extra just because you're Pat,
yes,
right? And just because I want your stuff, I mean, it's your right. But then I also have the same say, all right, well, anything that you want to buy from me, I'm going to charge you the same amount. That's
yes,
what makes sense.
yes,
I don't know. I'm not going to get political.
yes,
I'm just saying it seems to me that we made a lot of, I was part of that whole Walmart revolution in the 90s
yes,
where people were like, they were expanding like crazy and they were forcing everyone who wanted to do business with them had to get automated.
yes,
They use EDI and all that stuff, and they encouraged everybody to go to China. They
yes,
encouraged everybody to go to China,
yes,
and so
yes.
now we're mad because everyone's in China. Well, hello. I mean, there's just no way that we can even replicate that.
Well,
Same for
it's
when we went to Mexico.
and I know we're coming to an end in terms
Yeah,
of time
we are.
frame, right?
Yeah.
But on the other part, I used to order stuff from Canada before I ordered
Mhm.
from China. But with the Canada, it's just the cost
The
of
costs
the
are
goods,
expensive.
which is so much more
Mhm.
expensive. So we had to have a lesser quality, but an
Mhm.
equal, not that much of a difference,
Mhm.
and we had to order from the same amount. Like to give an example, like we could double our order if we went to, and I know we wasn't supposed to go but since it came up, but we had to we could double the order and order
Mhm.
from straight from the manufacturer in China. But and it took a long time, but it's just one of those things where, but we save so much money, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. But we had to go back. it doesn't matter. But and that's not the point of this podcast. But the point of it is just
Well,
as a small business owner,
I,
I went through all
yeah.
different phases of that, and I have
Mhm.
that. Like I understand exactly what it is from
Right.
step A to step Z.
But don't you think? I think the whole point of this conversation was that we need each other. We need
Yes.
each other and we impact each other.
Yes.
And so, negative or positive. So, for example, I'm inviting others into my world that
Yes.
I run everything as capital partners, and they're going to take part in it and they're going to benefit when I perform, and I'm going to benefit with their money right now to go faster. Right?
Exactly.
That is
Exactly.
collective. It's a
Yes.
seesaw. And the reality is that every choice we make has a ripple effect. We
Yes.
just don't always see it,
Yes.
right? Whether we're buying from Walmart instead of our local guy, which is fine, that is okay. But keep in mind that local guy may go away
Yes.
because he doesn't make as much, or like they've opened up like 4 other places downtown in my hometown with cupcakes and cookies.
Yes.
Well, it's not like the population has quadrupled. There's not 4 times the amount of customers. It's the same. So now what I was doing for cupcakes, I'm doing a quarter up because now,
Yes.
and it's not always equitable, but you see
Yes.
what I'm saying is
Yes.
that when you keep cutting the pie into smaller pieces, you can't be mad when a local small business goes out when you didn't support them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And you have to pick and choose and just understand. No, it's not right or wrong. You just have to know that our choices have consequences and
Exactly.
benefits.
Yes. Yes.
And that's true in business, right? And
And there's going to be a cycle,
of course,
it's going to be a cycle because we
right.
have like here in my small town here in Atlanta, not small town, but we have a little area,
Mhm,
it's called Virginia Highland, and we've seen where it started to die out and then they started to
mhm,
come back. Like it's just
right.
everything's a cycle. Like it's just going
It
to be a
is cycle,
cycle. Yeah,
correct.
it's going to be a
And
cycle.
people care about like my new location in Concord, North Carolina, is they had to do construction downtown, and a lot of the small businesses died off because they
Yeah,
couldn't afford it. Like they
exactly.
couldn't last a couple years of construction. People
Yeah,
avoided it, and that impacted them. But so now they have a concentrated effort to rebuild that. Well, did they have to? No, but the town and the people of Concord thought this was important enough to invest the funds to
yes,
rebuild because
yes.
they wanted that heart of their town.
Well,
Other
it's the other.
towns won't.
You're right, and then maybe we can talk about this next week as we're coming
Mhm.
to kind of an end. But
Let's wrap it in.
there should be some. I got to, and I don't want to get political, but there's
That's
some
okay.
legislation, right, to say that
Mhm.
okay, we the same way it's like we need like as real estate, we need more builders to build more properties. We
Mhm.
need some kind of incentive for small business to keep going instead,
Some infrastructure to support. So, like, this is part of the reason I moved to Charlotte is what that town just went through with all those businesses dying. That's what my town in New Hampshire is going through starting
Yes,
next year for 3
yes,
years, and it's probably going to be 4. So what's going to happen to all those small businesses when nobody wants to go downtown and deal with it?
exactly.
And
Yes,
their attitude is, I don't care. It's up to you guys to figure it out. And
yes,
so there shouldn't be like, but again, there are always consequences and effects, causes and effects. And this is just what it is. And if you're smart, like COVID, even if you pivot quickly and you can figure it out, right? Because it's a game. It's a
exactly.
game.
But
And we
that's
just got
why
to
I think
figure
it's
out how to win.
even more important for us to stick together, and we need more of you
Yes.
guys there.
Yes.
We
Yes.
need more business owner. Please reach out to us.
Oh, yeah.
Come into our podcast. Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
Let's come on. Talk
Let's
about
figure
it.
out the
Mhm.
solution. Let's figure out the game. Let's figure out how we can work together and help each
Mhm.
other.
One of the things I want to throw out there, Pat, too, is one of the things I want to run soon, and maybe we can do it on the podcast, is AI in a day. Like just
Okay.
little AI, because AI is going to replace so much, but it has this ability to help business owners to get so much off their plate.
I
Imagine
love
not having to do something you hate ever again. Like,
all the admin stuff.
right, all that stuff. But I think we should talk about how we can help business owners from that perspective too.
I
So
love it.
anyway,
I love
I
it.
love it, love it.
Guys, thank
Thank you
you.
guys.
Tracy,
Thanks for watching the
always
game and the gun show. Woohoo! We did it. Bye,
awesome. See you
everybody.
guys next week. Bye, Tracy. Thank you.
Bye, Pat.
Okay, cool.